Welcome to The Road Reflected with Nicole Wakeland. Automotive from the lighter side. That means cars, but also cookies, coffee, and pie. Up first, what's Nicole behind the wheel of this week?
Okay, everyone, I'm behind the wheel of an all-new vehicle. It's not just new this year. It's not just new this week, like redone. All new, never before existed, haven't had it before vehicle.
Embargo just lifted.
The embargo just lifted. Yeah. The 2025, as a matter of fact.
Ooh, it's like a year and a half old.
I think it's the first 25. The 2025 Volvo EX30, which is a new vehicle. It's an all-electric SUV crossover. I guess it's sort of...
I didn't even notice it was all-electric when we drove it today.
You didn't drive it today. That's a different car.
Okay.
That's why you didn't notice that.
Because it was a Volvo.
We have two Volvos this week. It's not the one that we were driving for this last week.
Okay, I gotta get out of my head.
Let's reshift.
Okay.
You didn't notice it because you didn't drive it yet. So the Volvo EX30...
Volvo was not all electric.
Correct. The Volvo EX30 was the one that I drove in Spain a few weeks back.
I did not see that car.
Yes, you did not come to Spain with me, so you did not experience it. So this is the smallest crossover that Volvo has done in the U.S.
Yes.
And they say SUV, but it's really crossover. It's smaller. It's pint size. So, and it's a big deal for Volvo that they're doing this. It's an affordable Volvo because Volvo it's like luxury car and they can tend to be too expensive for a lot of people. They get too pricey. This one is priced a little bit more affordably. The starting price for this is about $35,000.
That's pretty good because Volvos aren't typically super affordable vehicles,
right?
They're higher quality.
Because they're more premium, right? They're not. It's
but then
not.
It's all electric. That's a pretty good deal.
Yep. So base $35,000, but if you start climbing up the price range, you're going to get into the 40s. So you can start but it's not a $100,000 Volvo or an $80,000 Volvo. It's not that. So this is an all electric crossover, smallest of the Volvos. It still has good cargo room. So there's 14.1 cubic feet behind the rear seats, which is kind of, you think of like a sedan. It's like large. It's like average sedan size.
Yeah,
cargo
I was going to
room.
say I don't know if that's big or not.
It's not huge, but again, this is a crossover. This isn't a full size SUV. Right. So 14.1 behind the rear seats. If you fold those down, it's 31.9.
Okay.
And you still have the versatility. The fact that this isn't a sedan, so it's not a trunk with a lid. You got
the hatchback.
You have the hatchback thing. You have the head. You can put tall stuff in because there's headroom that becomes cargo room.
Got to haul that lawnmower to the repair shop. It'll fit in there.
I get, okay, if that's what you want to do with I don't know that I put a lawnmower in the back of my fancy Volvo.
If I don't have a pickup truck, I throw a tarp down in the back of the car and jam the lawnmower in there.
Okay, all right.
The handles fold down, so you probably get right in there.
I like how you've thought this through.
Oh, yeah.
He's like Volvo.
You get grass clippings everywhere, so it's a little messy. But you vacuum it. When
I
you're
might
done.
kill you if you put a
so your
lawnmower
wife
in the
doesn't
back
notice
of a
the
car.
lawn clippings everywhere.
Like you think I don't.
There's always that one good
like
grass smudge on the right hand.
And you're like, how'd that get in there?
Panel,
the wheel print that goes all along the fabric.
Exactly.
What did you roll into?
Because you
the
didn't really bungee it down very well, and so
you took a corner, it rolled.
Yeah, that happens.
So hopefully you don't do that to your Volvo EX30. So as an electric vehicle, of course you have to charge it. This isn't a hybrid. So it goes from about 10% to 80%, which is sort of the sweet spot for how electric vehicles charge in about 26.5 minutes.
That seems reasonable.
Reasonable, using DC fast charging. So it's reasonable.
Quick lunch or a long coffee break.
Right? So it has a range of 265 or 275. So that's either with the rear wheel, words are hard, or all-wheel drive.
I feel like that's not much mileage loss for all-wheel drive.
Exactly. It's only 10, right? So I feel like I would be compelled to get the all-wheel drive. And the other thing about the all-wheel drive in terms of how this drives, it handles a little better, has a little more power because it has two electric motors. So it has more power. You feel it. It's got more oomph to it. So it's a more engaging drive. Now, neither way is this going to be like a performance car. Don't get your head thinking that. It is definitely not a performance car. But with the all-wheel drive, it is more engaging. It's not lackluster without it, but you just feel it. It feels better when you have the all-wheel drive. So that's the one that I would go to. It accelerates really strongly. EVs have that instant torque. So it's so hard to look at like torque and horsepower numbers in an EV because, although horsepower
sort of
matters,
a different measure.
It's kind of weird because you have that instant torque. It feels like more than the number that you're used to on a gas-powered car.
Yeah.
So it's sort of misleading. So if you haven't driven an EV, before you look at one and think, it's not enough horsepower, get in it and drive it because it drives very differently. When you mash the pedal, you go.
Yeah, if you need to pass something on the highway really quickly because there's a problem or whatever, you have that power.
Exactly. So I really enjoyed driving this. And I love The interiors on this deserve mention because Volvo has always been really focused on sustainability and trying to use natural materials and be kinder to the environment. And they did that with this car in numerous ways, right down to like how they're shipping it, the cargo, the decisions they made in terms of transporting it as cargo. But inside, they used all these really cool sustainable materials. And they have like 4 different sorts of themes that they came up with. So there's each one kind of gets its own there's breeze, there's indigo, there's mist, and there's pine. And each one is sort of inspired by
Do they have an air freshener scent?
Does it have an air freshener?
They sound like air freshener smells.
I don't think they do. It does. I don't think there's any kind of scent thing in it. But now I'm like, wait, did this one have one? I don't
really
think
want
this
a
one
scent.
did. But they do each get a very distinct vibe. So the blue one, there's a blue interior that looks really kind of cool. But I liked one that actually has this material. It looks like it makes me think of almost like a burlap kind of texture, but finer than that.
Yeah.
But it looks like that, but even feels it. Like you feel it. There's actual texture, and you have it on the dashboard in different places. So it gives some visual pop, but it also looks cool. But they've put, like, of course, they finish it. So it's not like the first drop of water time you splash coffee on your dashboard because you fumble your coffee cup, you've destroyed your interior. But it looks really nice. But that's made from like flax from the linseed plant.
Oh.
So it's a more sustainable product. And like they use recycled water bottles, and they even use, like, when you make a pair of jeans, there's some fabric that's recyclable, but then there's a certain amount of fibers that aren't recyclable that become waste. They use the fibers to create parts of the interior of your Volvo EX30.
So you're sitting on jeans.
You're sitting on jeans. Your jeans are on jeans.
Ooh.
Is it like wearing
double denim?
I guess so. But they don't call it that. But I guess that's exactly what it would be.
It's like double denim.
It's double denim. Okay. So it has this beautiful interior, and it still has that. What hasn't changed is, Volvo has that sort of minimalist kind of aesthetic. Their luxury is not in your face, glaring, draws attention, screams to look at me kind of luxury. And the interior of this still upholds that.
It's Spartan feel.
It's very Spartan, but not in a way that you feel like anything's cheap. It doesn't feel cheaped out.
Just like in high end, like super clean.
Exactly.
Sort of, yeah.
And so here's the thing that people, when I shared some videos of this on social media, people lost their ever-loving minds because there is... No.
Oh.
There is not an instrument cluster.
Oh.
Instead, there is a 12.3-inch infotainment screen. It's mounted like portrait style.
Oh.
And at the very top...
So what's above the steering wheel?
Nothing. You'll see a thing that people think that, no, there's not a HUD. So you think that there's something there because you see, like, when you look at pictures.
Yeah.
But that actually, the little piece that kind of looks like it's some kind of really thin screen is actually about safety stuff, driver assistance stuff, and seeing where you're looking and making sure you're paying attention. Right. But so if you look at the instrument cluster is in the infotainment screen.
So down and to the right.
Not really down because this is mounted kind of high on the dashboard.
Okay. And it's sticking really up.
It's not into your view, but it's higher. But the part that is the instrument cluster is in the top couple of inches of that.
So your speedo is like to the right, but like eye level.
It's to the right eye level. So people were getting upset because, like, oh my gosh, you have to take your eyes away. You should be like, but think about it this way, guys. You normally look down, right?
Yeah, it's probably the same distance.
So you're looking down, but when you're looking down, your eyes are actually completely off the road, right? Even if you're looking down a little bit.
But if I look right, my peripheral vision's still.
If you're looking right, you're still kind of got the road in view. So
how hard was it to get used to that?
Super easy. So I thought I was totally not going to be a fan. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't think that I'm going to like this. I didn't even realize I got used to it. That's how easily I got used to it.
So you weren't even thinking about it after what happened.
I didn't even think about it. Okay. So it became very intuitive. And people are saying, this is horrible. This is cheaping out. This is another screen. Yes, it means that there's not another screen. I am positive that saved some money for Volvo.
Yes.
Good for you, Volvo. You saved a few bucks.
I'm surprised they didn't go with a HUD in this, though.
I'm wondering if it's cost thing. Again, we're trying to keep the price. This is supposed to be an entry level, more affordable electric Volvo. Are there
non-sustainable elements that go into the little projector that you have to have on the screen?
I don't think that's it. I think it was just, but also moving things into one screen is not the first and only OEM who's done this. But I think it's a little bit of just a change. Mm-hmm. And I think people are afraid of change. And I think people look at it and think this is a terrible idea. But there are some good things to be found for moving the driver instrument cluster there. And it is actually incredibly easy to use. Okay, everyone, if you like what you're hearing, then go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe either on YouTube or your favorite podcatcher. I just realized the entire time I've been talking, I've had this little stuffed animal in my hand.
She's gesturing me with a small Oswald.
It's Oswald from Disney. I moved it because the dog went for it, and now I'm using it as a pointer.
She's gesturing.
I was using this to demonstrate.
What Oswald means? He means good feelings, which means use him for positive reviews in iTunes.
There we go. So Oswald. If you don't know who Oswald is, Google. He's
pre-Mickey Mouse.
He's pre-Mickey. He was Mickey version 1.0.
Yeah,
he was Mickey before Mickey.
He's like a rabbit.
Yeah, but he's really cute. And I have this little Oswald sitting on my desk. Anyway, so the other vehicle that we have to talk about is what you thought we were talking about first.
Oh, the other Volvo.
Right, which is the one that we've been driving for the last week.
Got it.
So this is the Volvo V60 Cross Country.
Which is gas.
Yes. They say mild hybrid, but basically gas.
What's a mild hybrid?
It uses a little hybrid.
So it's just got a hybrid in there for like the old school hybrid with just enough little extra mileage.
So mild hybrid. But but the thing that makes this unique or makes this different or makes this special or depending on your point of view, makes it absolutely horrid is this is a wagon.
Doesn't look like a wagon. Okay.
Well, take a good look at it. Wait. It is a wagon.
What is the difference between a wagon and a crossover? We've had this conversation.
Right, we have, but this is technically a wagon. Wagons are longer and not as high.
So it's like an inch measurement or something?
I don't know that there's an official inch because much
it looks like a crossover.
No, it doesn't. It's longer than a crossover. Crossovers aren't typically this long. If you look at this sitting in the driveway.
So it's a sedan-like vehicle.
Yes, it's a sedan with a hatchback.
That's got a hatchback.
But not like a hot little hatch is teeny tiny.
Not a hatchback because those are small.
It's more like a sedan and you pop the hatchback.
It's really all about how long the vehicle is.
In this case, yes.
If it's short with a hatchback, it's a hatchback. If it's medium with a hatchback, it's a crossover. And if it's long with a hatchback, it's a station wagon.
But then if it's long with a hatchback and it's really tall,
it's an SUV / minivan.
Right, SUV.
Well, minivan we know is a sliding door.
Yes,
So as soon as you have a sliding door, you're a minivan regardless of size.
You got that.
So it really, when it gets super long and also tall.
Yes.
Because if they're short, then they're not.
And people argue about the design like it's a body on frame. That
some of the
SUVs
they'll get pretty short, which I think then gets into crossover.
Yeah, but this technically is a wagon. In fact, if you go to Volvo's site, it actually says wagons, right?
Got it.
So the V60 Cross Country, which is a wagon, I like wagons. So we're kind of averse to wagons in the U.S. It's as if we have this I don't want a station wagon from the 70s. They don't even call it a station wagon.
Yeah.
They just call it a wagon.
We dropped the station.
Right, because they're trying to get away from that, I guess, that stigma. But if you go to Europe, wagons are all the rage.
Is there like a law against that?
No, I mean, there's no law, but it's a wagon.
Okay.
But if you go to Europe, wagons are huge. They sell a lot of wagons. They have no problem with wagons. I don't know what our beef with wagons is in the United States.
They just probably feel old. I feel like it's your grandparents' vehicle.
Maybe it's your grandma's vehicle, but this most definitely is not your grandparents' vehicle because this is a really nice vehicle. I love the V60 Cross Country. It's been fun driving it. It's all-wheel drive. Excuse me. It has 247 horsepower from a turbocharged 4-cylinder. It moves. It's fine.
Pretty good for its size,
right? And here's the thing that makes this so nice. This is why wagons are amazing. Because you have the comfort of a sedan, you have the low ride height of a sedan. Although this is like a little
to climb up to get into it, like my
so
Jeep.
It's easy to get in. It's comfortable. It's roomy. It's quiet. It's smooth. But you still got the cargo room and the cargo versatility. In fact, this one has a 60/40 split folding rear seat, and there's a little pass through. So if you fold down the center armrest,
your skis in there.
Exactly, you can put your skis. I don't think golf clubs. I feel like golf clubs wouldn't work because the space is small enough. You'd have to take the clubs out.
One club for the driving range.
One club through there. But you could put skis. So there is a pass through, which is kind of nice, which lets you still have people sitting there in two of the seats in the back and have a pass through for longer items. So I think. I like wagons. I think they're great. Like when I saw this, we never get wagons in the press fleet. It was kind of nice to even just
parallel parking them's kind of hard. They're long.
A little bit. I'm going to fess up. I stink at parallel parking. Yeah. You want me to parallel park a Yugo? I'm still going to have trouble with it. I'm terrible at parallel parking. That's my favorite driver assistance feature. Parallel park my car, please.
Push a button.
Push a button, please park my car. I just am and I failed that part of my driver's test because I was so panicked. I asked. And they're like, well, if you fail that, you still pass and learn. You can get your driver's license. And I'm like, then I'm good. Because it's the one thing I can't do. And he made me pretend to do it. And if I had actually been parking next to cars, I would have been on the hood of the car behind me.
Yeah.
I stink at it, people.
Yeah. It's serious.
And I don't have to do it much where we live anyway, which is why I never got practice in it. But so anyway, so the Volvo V60 Cross Country, this has like a nice 9-inch infotainment touchscreen. It has a 12-inch. I love my show notes. Do you see what I have written down here?
Which one?
A 112-inch digital instrument cluster.
Big.
I believe it's only 12.
Oh. Well, yeah, it didn't feel like a movie screen. It didn't feel like a giant screen TV.
Okay, so whatever it is, guys, it is not 112 inches. It's a nice,
it's not like
good-sized digital instrument cluster. Yeah, 112. Right. I think it was supposed to be 11.2. Did I miss a period in there?
I think you probably missed a period.
So large digital instrument cluster, but not a big screen TV on there. And this interior is more what you probably know from other Volvos as opposed to the EX30, which is a little bit more minimalist because of its use of materials. This one has, and we were driving the higher trim. This is the Ultimate. So there's two trims of this. Mm-hmm. Has Napa leather seating surfaces.
Ultimate is the highest level.
It is. Okay, yeah.
Sometimes car makers make a level above Ultimate, which...
Ultimate Plus.
That sounds counterintuitive because when you're at Ultimate, by definition, it can't get any better because it's Ultimate.
Mm. Yeah. Mega Ultimate?
No. Okay. Once you're at Ultimate, it's like most. You can have good, better, best, or you have more and then most. Once you have most, you can't have more than most. Okay. And you can't have more than Ultimate.
Well, let's let the marketing people know that Ultimate is the highest trim.
Just throw that out there. So
good job, Volvo. You followed Russ's rules of car naming.
You can be awesomer, but you can't be more Ultimate.
Okay. You can be awesomer.
Yes, exactly.
All right. We'll go with that. Yeah. But so this one, the Ultimate, is in fact Ultimater because it has Napa leather seats, this one, and these are options and available on the highest trim.
Oh, see, you can make Ultimate more Ultimate.
You can. Oh. So there's Napa leather seats. They have wood trim. Did you even notice the wood trim? It's on the dashboard.
That was cool. It was minimalist but cooler.
Well, and I love that wood trim now is not. Do you remember when they wanted to put enough gloss and varnish on it that it sparkled like a diamond? Yeah, you couldn't even
tell it was real wood.
Before. Right? It could have been plastic and you wouldn't know. Right. This is like what they call it. I don't know if they call it technically open pore, but it's a natural finish.
But you feel like you touch it, it feels like a tree.
Yeah, it feels like wood. It doesn't feel like it's varnished heavily. And this one's like light gray.
And I'm sure these trees have all naturally fallen. They're not. They're.
That's a good question. This could be some natural. You never know. This is Volvo. They could have been like, no, we've only harvested
just before it rotted. Tree
trees from forests that burned down.
Tree, yeah, exactly.
It could be that. Who knows? So they have wood trims.
Volvo's going to email us. No, it is not.
Yeah, you're
going to
get an email
wood.
from it is not. But it also has, and I love this. And this is a Volvo thing. The gear shift is Orforce crystal.
That is cool.
It just looks neat, and I realized today because it is in fact just a giant crystal gear shift shape. But actually, if you looked really close, you can see it says Orforce Sweden.
See, and I'm getting into this whole, I think the automotive manufacturers have finally decided that the analog clocks are no longer necessary. And we moved on to crystal shifters. And
you don't like the crystal shifter?
No, I'm okay with this.
I like the crystal shifter.
Because the crystal shifter does not feel like some dated, anachronistic thing.
It's just cool because it's crystal.
It's just cool because it's crystal. And that's okay.
Okay, so I'm glad you approve.
I do approve.
You like their naming? You like the gear shift?
I do. It's like having a nice, high quality, head for your cane. It's like, that's my cane. It's my little.
So instead of a duck head, you've got like a crystal. Yes. Or your duck head on your cane would have like a real ruby eyeball.
Ruby eye or a diamond head. No, this has got crystal. So it's really cool. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I guess that's a good enough analogy.
Yeah,
that works.
It's like, I feel like you could be like an evil mastermind crystal sort of situation.
So now you've made a Volvo, the car of evil masterminds.
I think we all know that's
in their volcano layers.
Yes, if you are going to have a volcano layer, it'd be a Volvo with a crystal shifter.
In your volcano layer.
In my volcano.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. Other things that are cool about this.
Right.
That I like about this vehicle. The rear seats are genuinely comfortable rear seats. So now, normally they're a bench seat.
Yep.
And there's a certain amount of contouring, but there's still a bench. If you looked at these, I don't know if you caught it, they actually do have a little bit of actual contouring like a bucket seat.
Yeah, they're kind of bucketish.
Right? So it's kind of like little slightly contoured left seat, slightly contoured right seat, and a flat middle seat. But so if you're sitting back there, it's super comfortable.
Your children will go flying across the seat when you corner.
I don't think it's so much the children going flying across the seat. I think,
Mom, slow down.
Stop it. It's more just if you're an adult and you're riding back there. I have never done that. My kids have never screamed. Okay, they've never told me. I don't think they've ever screamed slow down.
Hey, kids, I was just on the track last week.
You're going to have... No, they can't come for me. The kids are adults now.
That's right.
So I really do like how comfy the seats are. Like they're genuinely comfortable seats, which you don't always get even in a more upscale car. Bench seats aren't always... They're never as comfy as the bucket seats. So the front seat's obviously the best, but the rear seats are really nice too. And there's your own climate controls. So you can control that. And there's heated seats back there. So you can have, when it's cold and freezing, all of your passengers are toasty and warm. Okay, wait, did we just drive by a bakery? Okay, so we are just not even 1 week out from one of the high holidays on the children calendar.
Oh, the highest.
Well, no. I mean, if you celebrate Christmas, that's the highest, I think.
I know children who like Halloween more than Christmas.
Yeah?
Yeah, because the candy situation is off the charts.
And the thing about Halloween is it's sort of a non-denominational,
yes.
It doesn't matter who you are.
Everybody wins at Halloween.
Doesn't matter what faith you are. You can participate in the Halloween crazy.
You just have fun.
Yes. So
and dress up.
We just had Halloween, and unfortunately, I wasn't home for Halloween, which makes me really sad.
It was a sad day.
I know, but you had
I was alone, home alone, handing out candy.
Home alone, handing out candy, but you had fun on Halloween handing out candy.
Of course, because I love handing out candy.
Okay.
It's just as much fun handing. In fact, as an adult, I like handing out the candy almost more than I like trick-or-treat.
I love the little teeny kids who can't make it up the steps, and I have to come down the steps to the kids.
We have a lot of trick-or-treaters.
We do. We have a very easy neighborhood for trick-or-treating. Mm-hmm. The roads, there aren't a lot of traffic on the roads.
High home density.
Yes.
Not a lot of traffic. You can kind of start at one to the neighborhood, and you can go through literally hundreds of homes.
You can make bank on candy in our neighborhood.
You can fill up those buckets.
Yes, you can. We used to go trick-or-treating with the girls, and they would have their little bucket, and we would have a bag. And periodically, they would dump their bucket into the bag. Their little buckets
would get so full they
couldn't put any more candy in it. Yeah,
so we dump it, and I would have to carry around the big bag.
Yeah, we had so much Halloween candy. So I missed the Halloween candy. I missed the crazy of our neighborhood because our neighborhood does it up right. We even have one guy who comes around in a Ghostbusters.
Yes, he's done up his truck.
He does. He used to be a car. Now it's his truck.
It's a pickup, and it's all done up, and he hangs off all this crazy stuff.
And he plays the music at and
he jams Halloween tunes. Predominantly Ghostbusters.
Yes.
The Ghostbuster symbols, you get the lights.
Yes.
But he then changes to other crazy Halloween songs.
Fun Halloween stuff.
Like Monster Mash.
Yeah. So, and our neighbor on the one side does absolutely insane stuff for Halloween.
Kind of scary.
This year it's scary. So she has this
She's always a little scary though.
She has this murderer. Like he's supposed to be one of the characters from I don't know, it could be Jason from Halloween.
Yes.
But it's as if he's sitting by a tree. I'll tell you though, at 3:00 in the morning when you go get an early flight and you see that out of the corner of your eye, you're like, I'm dying now. I'm like, oh no, it's just my neighbor scaring me.
Well, her husband, every year she dresses him up in a different scary outfit.
Yes.
And then he leaps out and scares the children. Now they're cool about it. If it's a small child,
they won't scare
he doesn't leap out. But one year he was a werewolf, and then he was Jason. And then he was,
he was an alien one year.
And then he was Freddy Krueger, and he's an alien.
That was scary.
But what's cool is she doesn't throw any of these costumes away. She stuffs them in newspaper, and then they become permanent, little yard decorations
during future Halloweens.
Future Halloweens.
Yes.
So at this point, she's got every scary Halloween character ever, man size, human size, out there in her yard somewhere.
She's really good at this. She should have worked in Hollywood.
And this year, she's doing clowns.
I know, she did clowns.
By the dozen, and it is very scary.
I mean, I'm sorry I missed Halloween. I'm not sorry I missed the clowns.
No, the clown situation was a little off the charts.
She keeps sending pictures. I'm like, that's what's in the basement of the house
Although,
next
did
door.
you see their costumes that they're doing for their own costume party?
Yes.
They're doing Home Alone, where their son is...
I forgot his name. He's...
Christy McAuliffe, right?
No, Krista McAuliffe. She was an astronaut. How about Macaulay Culkin?
Macaulay Culkin, thank you.
Gosh.
Man, I was an astronaut.
That wasn't even
way
close.
Up. My brain was just completely...
Wow, too much sugar. You've had too much Halloween candy, clearly.
I had a lot of crumble cookies also.
You had a lot of what?
Crumble cookies. The stunt cookies for all these video shootings you
We did have a lot of stunt cookies today because there's a lot of peanut butter ones.
I'm eating those.
So we hand out full-size candy. Because it was a life goal of yours to hand out the king size.
Yes, I want to hand out, as an adult, I always thought as a child, it would be cool when I grew up, I would hand out the king size candy bars. And this is a quest. So I literally spend a good chunk of change every Halloween.
We debate, shall we pay the mortgage or get the king size candy?
Hundreds of dollars in candy I give out. Yes. Because we generally get about 200 trick-or-treaters, plus or minus, every year, depending on weather and rain. But I always hand out king size, and we try to have a selection.
Yes.
Right? So we try to have... you got to have the king size Reese's peanut butter cups. You got to have the king size Twix. You got to have the king size Kit Kat. You got to have the king size Snickers. And my personal favorite, which are becoming hard to get.
Yes.
The king size Three Musketeers.
I know, they used to be easy.
The Three Musketeer bar, let's be honest, listeners, best candy bar ever created by humanity.
No, my favorite thing, is it count as a candy bar, Reese's peanut butter cups?
No, the Reese's peanut butter cup is a cup.
Okay, but it's the best candy.
It's quite good.
It is the best candy.
It's quite good, but it is
happy
not...
wife, happy life. It is the best candy.
It is a great cup.
Okay. So Reese's peanut butter cups are my favorite, and I love the king size ones.
Yes.
But it is fun to watch.
And the fun shape ones. Now, This is an interesting debate my wife and I have. See, here we go. So you can get Reese's peanut butter cups in different shapes.
At different
seasons. You can
seasons.
get the pumpkin one, Halloween.
There's a
you
tree.
Get the Christmas tree one.
There's a heart.
There's an Easter bunny one.
Oh, the egg.
The egg. But what's wrong with all these different shapes?
The peanut butter to chocolate ratio.
Yes, it is incorrect. It turns out the cup shape is the absolute correct.
Right. So whenever Mr. Reese's, I'm going to make it a Mr. Reese's, came up with a peanut butter cup, it's perfect. The closest one, though, the egg is the closest because you can also bite all the chocolate off the egg. And it's like an art. It's kind of like when you nibble a candy corn, you have to, legally, you're obligated to eat candy corns one layer of color at a time. Yeah. When I eat the eggs, I nibble all the chocolate around the edge of the eggs, and then I have just a peanut butter blob with a little coating of chocolate on either side, and that's what makes it the tastiest.
Yes.
So that's my favorite. I think it's absolutely my favorite. Do you agree that the ratio is just right on a cup, but not so great on some of the other stuff?
I believe the peanut butter cup is the best for a couple of reasons. One, the overall ratio is absolutely correct. But two, nibbling the edges, those little like veins on the edges there.
The pattern from the crinkly cup.
Yeah, that's actually fun to nibble. Like that's actually fun because you get a little bit of peanut butter in each bite.
Yes.
And that makes it more fun to nibble than like the edge of the egg, for example. So I do think the peanut butter cup is probably.
What do you think the worst one is? So you have the egg, pumpkin, classic like cup.
I don't eat as
many. And you
have
have a tree.
I kind of feel like the pumpkin's probably worse.
I feel like the heart.
I don't know if I've ever had the heart.
The heart is awkwardly shaped. It does not have the right. It's really, I don't like the heart.
They've started putting different things inside the Reese's peanut butter. Have you seen this?
What?
Peanut butter crunch and other kind of flavors in there.
I know they have white chocolate ones now. No. You can have I saw a white chocolate pumpkin in the grocery store last week.
These things are perfect. You can't, it's not like Oreos, people. Don't start jamming a bunch of crazy flavors in there and calling it fun. No.
Is there any other combination of peanut butter? No, peanut butter and chocolate is just the peanut butter and chocolate. You shouldn't mess with that.
That's not, you can put peanut butter with other things, but that's another project. A Reese's peanut butter cup.
Should be Reese's.
Reese's, chocolate, and peanut butter. They've got a fancy peanut butter in there. It's not normal peanut butter. They've got modified chocolate in there. It's not normal chocolate.
How do you know? You don't know what it is?
I've watched an entire special on this.
You did not. I don't even believe you.
No, I watched the, was it called The Titans That Built America?
This is like the Highlander. Where was that sword? You're pulling this out of your butt. You're making this up.
The Titans That Built America. They did a whole thing on Hershey. And you're saying, well, why does that have to? Because Reese's was a spinoff from Hershey. Like Hershey funded him because he was a former employee. Did
he fund him or did Reese's just run off and say, ha, ha, ha?
No, he funded him. And then he turned out to be a competitor. And he's like, oh, crap. They're like, because he was sourcing Hershey chocolate. Yeah. It's a whole story. It's a really interesting story.
Well, all I know is that it gave me my favorite candy on the planet, which is Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, which all candies being equal, that is the one that I'm going to go for 110%.
Thanks for listening to The Road Reflected. To follow more of Nicole Wakeland's adventures, head on over to NicoleWakeland.com. There you'll find links to her social media from TikTok to Twitter, as well as her work across a wide range of media outlets. Until next time, keep it shiny side up.